So, just want to start. What's your name?
Eric Gipe. But
And okay.
but everybody calls me Lurch. So
And number of years ago.
uh, 20 years as of this previous June 1st.
Okay. And just as we ask everybody, what's your most proud achievement in your years working in the law?
The reputation I built, the way I treated the men I worked with, the men that worked in the crews that I was in charge of, and still to this day, when I see them at union meetings, I see them at functions, they're always very happy. It's a lot of good stories and that. I really pride myself in not, you know, being known as having really screwed my brothers over. So
So what's your goal for running for president? What do you want to achieve?
I believe that they need somebody needs to be in the higher ups of this local officer positions, hall, whatever you want to say, that's more in touch with the membership, that's been out here for a time period, that knows, because when it comes to contract negotiations, money's one thing, but conditions, you have to have somebody that's in touch out here, and everything is evolving, especially now where it seems like more is getting taken out of the general contractor's hands and put to us, like coordination issues. So there's constantly conflict on the job. You're constantly getting guys, arguing this, that. So you need somebody in here too that's going to be quick to out there represent, answer the phone calls. And I'm not saying they don't do that, but that's what I would bring. I would definitely be there for those purposes. Always have an ear to the membership, do whatever I could. Not saying I can promise I could always solve every problem, but I'll at least try to get it somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
What's some conditions you want to see change? I guess because you mentioned on
me
the
personally, on the job, I would like to see us. I would like to see us have better conditions as far as hygiene. I would like to. I mean, nobody ever brings up in any of these lobbying or anything we do. What? Nothing. It seems like ever gets brought about the sanitary bathroom conditions on the job. I would very much like. Look, you see it. They have these trailers now with bathrooms, and you see it on big jobs. You see it on powerhouses. They have flushing toilets in there. They have a crew in there to keep them clean, to keep the graffiti down, to keep, because people are going to trash it. Even if you leave a great bathroom trailer, some idiot's going to come in and trash it. But I would love to see that. That's something I'd like. And I mean, we can't do it at a local level, but maybe we could push that onto these state representatives that we work with when they go down there. That never gets brought up. Personally, I thought when COVID hit, I thought this is it, man. This is like the moment they're going nuts. I was actually on a job where they installed running water, the Urbana job. They installed running water just so you could wash your hands because of the threat of COVID. But then as soon as, the COVID scare went away, oh, well, now you're back to, well, here's, some hand sanitizer and a spotted pot that hasn't been cleaned in 2 weeks. I'd like to see that. I'd also like to see in the next contract negotiation, something I'd really like to see is a one-for-one call-out journeyman ratio. If you want to call out a foreman, that's fine, but you call out a journeyman. So just so as I think I would bring a little more fairness to it. I do. That's two things I'd like to see change. If we can, I know one, we can't do it at a local level. We could push our representatives that we support to go for that.
Mike, you got any follow-up questions?
Yeah. Um, Talk about some of the things that you'd be able to add or improve, changing to the position. What are some things that you've seen from the current person in your position that's done that you want to add to or boost or continue to move forward with?
Like I say, uh, be more responsive out there. I'm not saying I don't. It's more of because the president right now is like to me. I'm talking about agent-wise in the heart, just something like that as a whole. Just have agents responding quicker, being able to be out there. Have more of a focus. It seems to me like when I come to meetings, I'm not saying anything's bad about what they're talking about because it is getting work and so it is. But it doesn't seem much of a focus. It's on the manpower out in the field, the membership. It never seems like we're ever thought of. I mean, in the last agreement, I mean, like the overtime to 40, I know said it was the issue at the arena and all, but I don't think much of the membership was in favor. I mean, I'm sure the vote showed different, and it did because I was there. But I really think, that if somebody was more in tune with what's going out there, I don't think, that's just my personal belief. I could be wrong, but
If elected president, do you want to continue to work in the field, or do you want to have something like a referral agent position?
it really, honestly, either way would happen to me. I'm not doing this to get a job in the hall. I mean, if it comes that way, it will. But You know, and I do know, I'm very well aware that even if I am just president, comes to that, I won't have that much, not like a hall position, but I'll at least have some. I'll have something to have some kind of influence, and then and with being out in the field, I'll still be out in the field, and you can take more out in the field. You're on these big jobs. I mean, you guys have been on big jobs with me. Everybody talks to me, and I hear, you know, people feel free talking to me. So I think that would be more of a voice. That's what I'm saying. I'm doing this to be a voice for the membership. Plain and simple. That's why I want to do it. I've had a lot of people approach me. You need to do this. You should do that. And I finally said, well, the hell with it. You know what I mean? I'll do it. So,
Do you have any last questions, the last thoughts that you want to say to the members?
I just would, you know, if elected, I will do everything in my power to serve you to the best of my ability, and I will do everything in my power not to disappoint you and let you down. Thank you for your time and your support. So, thank you. Appreciate that.